This video is about some of the world's top destroyers and their characteristics, but first a little introduction. The very word destroyer conveys destructive power, force and strength. Therefore, when in naval terms, a destroyer is an extremely powerful warship, which is meant to project power, perform complex missions, and bring the enemy to their knees with its firepower. However, the destroyer didn't start out as such. It was initially a small, fast, and maneuverable fleet escort ship termed as a torpedo boat destroyer, whose only role was to find and sink enemy torpedo boats. The first torpedo boat destroyers were developed in the last decade of the 19th century and gained prominence after World War I. Then they progressively grew in size to become significantly capable surface combatants by World War II. After this period, the invention of the naval surface-to-air and cruise missiles completely changed the look, size, and capabilities of a destroyer. The look of a warship bristling with dozens of guns was replaced by sleek lines and missiles stored under the deck. Though destroyers have now look less fearsome when compared to their World War II counterparts, they carry several times the firepower and cutting-edge sensors which allow one modern destroyer to do the job of around 10 legacy ones. Type 52C, or Luyang II class. Often dismissed as a Chinese knockoff of the American Aegis destroyers, the Type 52C is completely unique, and has no similarities with its American counterpart. These 7,000-ton ships were built to test several new technologies like electronically scanning radars, long-range SAM system, land attack capability, indigenous closed-loop CWIS and a new hull design. These features make the Type 52C a formidable opponent, and laid the pathway for the future Type 52D destroyers with many more refinements and upgrades. This ship class basically heralded the entry into the era 21st century technological warfare for the PLAN. AKIZUKI class. This is the newest class of destroyers in the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force. Built with a high level of indigenous technology, they complement the larger and more capable ATAGO and Congo-class Aegis destroyers in service. Their main role is to serve as armed escorts for the JMSDF helicopter carriers. At 6,800 tons, they are basically in the same league as a modern European frigate, but Japan classifies them as a destroyer due to its comprehensive weapons and sensor suite. As of now, there are 4 ships of this class, with the final one commissioned in 2014. Here are some general characteristics of AKIZUKI destroyer class. HOBART-class destroyer. The Royal Australian Navy is inching towards acquiring the coveted Blue Water Navy status, and the 6,900-ton HOBART class is just one type of asset that it is acquiring. The HOBARTs allow the RAN to provide a 600 km diameter protective umbrella, while acting as a fleet escort, thereby bringing them up to the level of other top navies, which have fielded similar air defense capabilities for some time now. It is estimated that 3 HOBARTs equipped with SM-6 missiles would be able to provide adequate air defense against threats encountered along their northern coast. This is a massive increase in capability, thanks to the advanced long-range radars and missiles on board. Though they have been marketed as AWD, air warfare destroyers, they have some significant anti-surface and anti-submarine capabilities. Type 45, Daring-class destroyer. Developed as a replacement for the Type 42, the Type 45 program was initially conceived as a one-for-one replacement for the 12 Type 42 destroyers. In the end, only 6 ships were built due to budget cuts and other issues, and they serve as the sole destroyer class. These ships have cutting-edge weapons and sensors as well as a high degree of automation, which reduces the crew requirement. Though at 8,000 tons, these ships could have been made into multi-role platforms, the Royal Navy chooses to give them only anti-air capabilities. The ATAGO-class destroyers. The ATAGO-class destroyers form the spearhead of the Japanese sea-based air defense with their advanced radars and long-range missiles. In the face of increasing missile threats from North Korea and Chinese adventurism near the disputed Senkaku Islands, Japan is further committed to increasing the strength of their ATAGO-class fleet from 2 ships to 4, with the new ships being equipped for exo-atmospheric ballistic missile defense. The ATAGOs are significantly larger than the ARLEIGH, from which they derive their base design. There have been major changes to the ship, including superstructure design and VLS layouts, which easily distinguish it from the American Burkes. At present, the ATAGO class is the more advanced and powerful of the Japanese Navy. Horizon or ORIZZONTE class, having its origins as a pan-European program consisting of the UK, France, and Italy. The Horizon Common Frigate program originally called for 22 air defense ships to be built, with 12 for the Royal Navy, 4 for the French Navy and 6 for the Italian Navy. But things were just not destined to be this way. With the UK withdrawing from the project due to disagreements regarding which company would lead the project, cost, technical issues, and the number of ships for the French and the Italian navies being reduced to just 2 each. However, France and Italy went ahead with the project by incorporating similar core weapons and sensors, resulting in the Horizon-class ships we have today. Unlike the British solo venture Daring class, which is capable of only anti-air warfare, the 7,000-ton Horizons are multi-role ships and can handle all sorts of threats including subsurface ones. At present, they serve primarily in the anti-air role, and are used as escorts for their carriers. ARLEIGH BURKE-CLASS. Since their introduction in 1991, they have served in every theater of conflict for the U.S. Navy, carrying out escort missions, deterrence patrols, anti-piracy missions, ballistic missile defense duties, land attack, anti-air and humanitarian and disaster relief missions, making it rich in terms of combat experience. These 9,800-ton ships have powerful radars, a large missile armament, and continuous upgrades, which make them suited to handle any threat in any ocean in the world. The ARLEIGH Burke-class is the most successful destroyer class in the world. King Sejong, the Great Class. These ships were built in a very short duration, around 2 years, and also possess the distinction of being the world's largest destroyer, displacing a mammoth 11,000 tons when fully loaded. Based on the ARLEIGH Burke destroyer, they have a comprehensive sensor and weapons suite which enables them to carry out basically any mission from cruise missile defense, to attacking land targets 1,500 kilometers away, to high-intensity anti-submarine warfare. If there is one conclusion we can come to, it is that the American Aegis, Spy, Mk-41 combination is the ideal choice for a multi-role destroyer. It offers exceptional flexibility, upgradability, and scalability which will keep it relevant in the future as well. It is interesting to note that not a single Russian ship features in this particular video, owing to the fact that they haven't designed and built a modern destroyer for over 30 years. This situation is unlikely to improve soon, and the next class of Russian destroyers is expected only around the 2025 to 2030 period. Still, Russia maintains an indirect presence in this video, as many of their weapons and subsystems have been incorporated on the Chinese destroyers in this video. Wondering why the 14,000-ton Zunwalt doesn't feature in this list? That's because they are guided missile cruisers and have the destroyer classification wholly for political reasons. Also, they are Taubes, technologically advanced but practically useless ships.